I think the Big 12 needs to win the NCAA tournament, and I think it's going to be very difficult. I think the best team this year right now is probably Iowa State. I would lean heavy to Iowa State in this tournament. I really like the way they're playing. I really like their matchups, but I think UConn's going to be very difficult to beat. I think it's going to be almost impossible for anybody to play as well as UConn is playing right now. But I think it is significantly important when we talk about the finances of college athletics that the Big 12 win the NCAA tournament. It is point-proving time. You have 8 teams in this tournament tied with the SEC for most in the NCAA tournament. Prove a point and win this tournament. With the way that finances are changing in college athletics, I don't think that this is an option to not have a Final Four team. I'm sorry, not to have multiple Final Four teams, multiple Elite 8 teams. Getting to the Sweet 16 anymore is not good enough. I think this is a huge moment in time for the Big 12. And I know that a lot of people want to talk about expanding the tournament, which we're going to get to here in a minute. But if you're the Big 12, it's all well and good that you want to expand the tournament. How about you win the tournament as it is currently constructed? And I think to have leverage, that's what you have to do. The only hammer that the Big 12 has on the Big 10 is that the Big 10 doesn't really field competitive basketball conferences year in and year out. At least they have not. Now, obviously, the way Oregon is playing, and I think Oregon is a dark horse in this tournament, there's no doubt. Adding Oregon to the Big 10 only helps the Big 10's basketball product. But there is no doubt that if you are the Big 12, I think you have to win this tournament. I think you have to add Gonzaga at all costs. I think this is a critical moment in time for the Big 12 when it comes to leveling the financial table. It is not an option to tank in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely not. And I think that, the Big 12, like you said, I mean, it's their only leverage point. And I think that if you can't say that you are dominant on the basketball court, and you win these big tournaments, obviously this is the biggest tournament. But, if you can't say that you're the dominant force in college basketball, what makes you any better than the ACC? What makes you better than really anybody else? Because you're not making the most money. And at that point, you wouldn't be, dominating football or basketball. And I think that's the hard part when you look at the tournament. It's like, yeah, theoretically, like when you look at, again, the bracket on paper, like a lot of Big 12 teams have a pretty, what I would call a straightforward path, right? I mean, you look at their path and you say, hey, they should win some of these games, but ultimately it comes down to actually getting the job done. And I think your point about getting to the Sweet 16, that not being as big a deal anymore, it's true. Because if you're the best basketball conference in the country, you really should be loading up the Elite 8. You really should be, again, doing what the SEC does in football, right? Which is having, again, if you just take percentages, right, having 2 SEC teams in the 4-team format at the end of the year, that's domination, bro. That's absolute positive domination. So if the Big 12 can have, let's say, 4 in the Elite 8, that's the kind of numbers you're looking for. Because ultimately, if you have 4 in the Elite 8, your odds of winning the national championship in college basketball are really good.
Yeah, I look at these, like you look at the Midwest. You obviously right out of the gate, TCU is going to run into Purdue, and I think TCU is a good story. But TCU also has to get by Utah State, who's a pretty game basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
So right there, I think you're looking at Gonzaga versus McNeese. Is anybody worried that Kansas is going to get to Gonzaga and lose? Because I think the way that Bill Self has run that team this year, and then there's that squad I warned you about. Oregon's going to win some games. I think if you are Creighton, you're staring down the barrel at the Ducks, because I think the Ducks present Creighton with one of their most difficult games. I think you look at the South, and there's a lot of really hefty matchups there. Obviously, Houston's the behemoth there, but I don't think Nebraska is a gimme game for Houston in the second round, although I think they would win. But at that point, aren't they running into Wisconsin? Because I think Wisconsin's better than Duke.
Mm-hmm.
I think Wisconsin will beat Duke, and I think you're gonna wind up with a Houston-Wisconsin regional that could be really good. That could be a really good game. Obviously, pew pew, rock 'em, bitches.
Yes.
Texas Tech has a chance to go to the Final Four. They are a Final Four quality team. Now, if you look at what they have ahead of them, NC State, NC State's one of those teams that ruined the NCAA tournament for some people because they took a spot they probably should not have taken by winning their tournament. You look at Kentucky and Oakland. I am really hoping we get Kentucky and Texas Tech.
Yeah,
because I think that could be a hell of a game. I think we're looking at that point. I think you're looking at Marquette and Texas Tech, which could be an absolute slugfest.
So you can kind of see how if you're the Big 12, like looking at this part of the bracket, the South, like it would be really unfortunate to have, let's say Texas and Houston run into each other trying to get into the Final Four, right? It would be unfortunate for stuff like that to happen, but that very well could happen to you, which is why I say it's important to continue to have the most teams or tied for the most teams this year in the tournament, because you have situations like this. And I completely agree. Texas Tech, running into Kentucky, that's a big opportunity. Anytime the Big 12 gets a chance to play the ACC or the SEC, you need to win those ball games.
Yeah.
You need to.
Yep. And then out west, I mean, I think Alabama's a very interesting team. I think Alabama is a very, very interesting team. I have zero faith in my Tar Heels this year. I think they need to turn this roster over. This is not a number one seeded team. I think Arizona has an argument to be, should have been, and if we're being honest, I think Baylor's probably better than North Carolina and Arizona.
Yeah.
I think Baylor's a team to watch here, but I think we're ultimately going to wind up with Michigan State and Alabama because I have zero faith in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Zero faith. I think Baycott is not a great player. I think he's one of the most overrated players. I think RJ Davis is every ounce of a superstar. But Armando Baycott has that ability for North Carolina to just piss you off in big games. And I don't think they're built Ford tough.
Right.
But I love Dayton. I think Dayton, Arizona is going to be a phenomenal game. By the way, Arizona doesn't have an easy pass with Long Beach State because Long Beach State isn't laying down for anyone. I think we are ultimately going to wind up. There's a chance because I think Baylor's got a pretty easy route. I think Baylor's better than Clemson. I think there's a chance, and it's a slim one. I think there's a chance we could see Dayton and Baylor. And if that happens, boy, that's going to be an incredible Baylor. I think Baylor's good, but I think Dayton's that team that can beat anybody that's sitting in front of them.
Yeah, they're definitely that problem team in that part of the bracket. Like I think that Baylor, see again, this is what I'm talking about. Baylor should easily get in, like theoretically speaking, on paper, should clearly get to the end of that portion of the bracket.
I would agree.
But like looking at this, like remember, Arizona is still technically a Pac-12 team. Technically, this is the last year the Pac-12 has representation, obviously.
Yeah.
So next year, you can kind of start to see how, hey, Arizona would be the Big 12's 9th team into the tournament. So just keep that in the back of your head when you're looking at this. Like, hey, there's going to be more teams from the Big 12 than anyone else, in my opinion, next year.
And I also think there's a team that we're going to overlook. And I think that BYU and Illinois could be one of the most entertaining games of this tournament. Because Illinois, and you don't have to want to, but you better believe that Illinois is legitimately a national championship contender. And I have not been able to say that since Kendall Gill and Kenny Battle. You guys don't even know who that is. But my point is, Illinois is a legit contender this year at a 3 seed. BYU and Illinois are going to be very interesting. I think you are going to watch Iowa State. And I think Iowa State's road is pretty smooth and paved.
Yeah.
They would have to get by, I think they're going to have to get by Drake, who's going to beat Washington State. They would have to get by BYU or Illinois. And I think it's Illinois. Iowa State versus Illinois is going to be epic. I think Illinois will probably win that game, and I think you're probably looking at UConn and Illinois coming out of that side. But the one team that I think that we could potentially be overlooking in all of these brackets really could be Creighton. Creighton, I know Creighton's going to have to.
Monty, it's Creighton.
I get it. Listen, man, I totally understand it. But if you look at all of these brackets, like you look at the South, like who is Houston, like as the number one, is Houston clearly the best team in the South? I think that's a really good bracket. Marquette's really good.
I think Houston has a bunch of firepower. Best is hard, to me, is a hard label to put on teams in these situations because, again, if Houston were to lose to Marquette, nobody would be surprised. That's not a bad loss. That's a hard-fought game. But, again, Houston is a 1 seed for a reason, and I think Houston showed us last year what they're capable of. And clearly, Houston has big-time expectations this year. No question about it. Marquette is a team that obviously has heritage, obviously in the conversation most years. But, yeah, I would expect Houston to get through that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I look at the West bracket, and there's some ball clubs out here, folks. I think this is going to be amazing. Obviously, the first 4, Colorado, Boise State. And I know this is going to sound wild. I think Colorado has a chance to go to the Sweet 16. I think Colorado is that team that you don't want to run into. Now, there's a couple in here. I think Virginia's really good, and I think Colorado is really good.
And Prize Picks got both of these teams all over the place.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think that Virginia and Colorado have a chance to really shock some folks.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how all this plays out. But again, I'm just going to tell you, I think this is a critical moment in time for Big 12 basketball. I think when you're talking about revenue, making a statement, trying to, help yourself, I think this is huge. But I also think this question of should we be looking at expanding the NCAA tournament to 80 teams? If you're the Big 12, the answer is obviously yes. But the thing that I can't get away from, and the thing that's hard to argue, is that when you look at North Carolina State, and you look at UAB, and you look at Duquesne in the A10, New Mexico in the Mountain, and Oregon in the Pac-12, just pissing people off all over college basketball.
Right.
And you look at, Rick Pitino crying a foul about the Johnnies not getting in. Do you know what Conference Tournament Week showed us? That we don't need to expand the NCAA tournament. This is exactly what the NCAA tournament is supposed to be. It's supposed to be these teams that are crying about being on the outside in. Maybe you should have won that December game. Maybe you shouldn't have lost that back-to-back on the road. And you wouldn't be on the bubble. Maybe Italian restaurant sex machine Rick Pitino, and I know this is crazy. Maybe you shouldn't have tried to convince America that your team was really shitty in February, which is what he said. We're a terrible team. Well, people believed you and left you on the outside looking in.
My bad.
The NCAA tournament doesn't need to go to 80. I think it's great right where it is. If anything, I would say get rid of the playing games. But it is what it is. Don't go to 80.
Right.
Don't go past 64.
Well, and I think, that dynamic is what a lot of people, I think, skip over. That, when it's been at 64 for forever. And I think that having this dynamic at play where you have to win this game to get into the tournament is huge. And I think that, every single year, how many borderline teams don't get in and say, oh, man, we got to expand this and we should be in. And, the Florida State-esque argument, right? Like, hey, we should have got in. We got screwed. How could you keep us out? And it's like, yeah, dude, that's part of the process. And I tend to agree in basketball specifically, like it is pretty clear who should be in and who should not. And I don't know. I understand why the Big 12 wants to expand it. More money. I totally get it. But that doesn't mean that is just a clean cut positive in every single category as to why we should expand.
It's going to expand. It's going to just understand that. It is going to expand. I don't think it has to, but it's going to. There's too much money to be made.
Yeah.
And if you're the Big 12, you need it to expand, because I can see a Big 12 league where you're getting 10, 11 teams into the tournament. If you add Gonzaga, you have a chance to get 12 teams into the tournament. You look at the teams coming in. Utah basketball is clearly on the rise. They're in the NIT this year, and I think a coaching change might be coming. But Utah is clearly, I think, a program that is disappointed and is not going to stand pat and not take part in the tournament. I think Colorado very clearly had one of its best years. You look at Arizona and you look at Arizona State. Arizona State, Bobby Hurley, you're an embarrassment. And your wife is not nice as a person, in my opinion. She's not very polite. Anyway, and your kids park on other people's lawns.
Right.
And not lawns. They're, your Zero-scape. But that's not the point.
Yeah, your rock pile.
Yes, we did some business with Bobby Hurley's wife, and her kids love to park in people's yards with their trucks. The point is, listen, friends, I think the Big 12 has a chance to get 10, 11, 12 teams into this tournament once expansion hits.
Yes.
And if that's the case, you should be expanding the tournament.
Well,
You should be pushing to expand the tournament. I don't want to see it expand.
Well, and depending on when it expands, I think next year the Big 12 is looking at 10 or 11 teams in. Again, if you just consider, the additions.
You have 8 now.
Yeah, I mean, if 8 now, and then, you consider the additions, if teams like, Arizona State, obviously Utah, if those teams can continue to get into the tournament, you're looking at 11 already, right? I mean, so to me, yeah, and obviously same logic for the Big 10, right? With the teams that they've added, but I think that the big thing here is that the Big 12 has to find a way to take control of basketball the way that the SEC and Big 10 have taken control of football. And the only way to do that is to win, and win more than anybody else. So yeah, you might want to win some ball games.
All right, who do you have winning the NCAA tournament? Let's go. In the comments section, who do you have winning? I think if you pick anybody other than UConn, you hate the NCAA tournament. So go ahead, pick somebody other than UConn.
Yeah, let's go with Oakland out of the South. That'll look really good.
Oakland out of the South. You want to talk about upsets?
No, I'm not picking Oakland.
So Jake just said that Oakland's going to win the NCAA tournament. I don't know if they can get by Western Kentucky. But if they can get by Western Kentucky, it seems like a pretty straightforward
pretty
path
straight
to winning.
run, man.
I think.
Yeah, the East is tough, bro. The East is going to be tough, and that's my concern for UConn. UConn should win the East, but
they're better than Stetson, FAU, and Northwestern.
Mm-hmm.
They are better than Yale, Auburn, UAB, San Diego State. I think Auburn's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What Bruce Pearl has done at Auburn is put them in a position where they believe that, and I think he said, I saw him on CBS Sports talking about how he put a 9-game winning streak in front of them and said, we need to win 9 games in a row. And I think that's exactly right. You need to win 9 games in a row.
Well,
and they've won, 3 of them, I guess, already, 4 of them already.
Their style of play is why I like Auburn. They're not a team that is going to be like, hey, man, we got to shoot the 3 well to win. They're a team that wants to be physical with you. Again, they want to get Broom at the elbow, going to his left, and taking high percentage shots. And I think if they do that, they can play with pretty much anyone. That's not to say they're going to beat UConn, but they can play with anyone and be in the game.
I think the East with Illinois, Iowa State, Auburn, again, I think UConn has the easiest road of anybody to get to the Sweet 16. I think that is, I mean, once you get to the 16, it's difficult, right? But they should be better than Auburn, Yale, UAB, San Diego State, Northwestern, and FAU. You should expect them to go to the Elite Eight. And then I look at the bottom half of that and I say to myself, they're better than BYU, they're better than Illinois, Although I think that could be a real battle. I think they're better than Iowa State, Iowa State is my sleeper team.
Yeah, you called it last weekend.
But I think it's going to be really difficult. I did because I'm brilliant and I'm good looking. But I think it's going to be very difficult for them to come out of that. Here's a shocker. Stephen Smith is taking Iowa State. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Wow, Monty.
Write it down. Stephen Smith thinks Iowa State's going to win the tournament and go undefeated next year in badminton, hockey, gymnastics, water polo, horse polo. You know. Harry Austin, I went Houston, but UConn has to be the favorite. Spartans, no. See, Eric, your first comment.
Bro.
Your first comment, and you already went to Idiotville. Although I think you're probably going to beat North Carolina, but that's fine. Mike Smith, LA face with the Oakland booty. Okay.
Like Keyshawn booty?
Dakota Tubbs says Morehead State.
Yeah, Morehead State.
You guys are ridiculous. Houston, Arizona, St. Peter's.
St. Peter's.
Well, at least finally we got a serious answer with St. Peter's.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Purdue. You think Purdue? If I look at all of the brackets, Purdue, they're better than Utah State or TCU. Is Purdue better than Gonzaga this year? They probably are. Is Purdue better than Kansas this year? I think Kansas has been so inconsistent.
Yeah, which Kansas?
Is Purdue better than Creighton? I don't think Purdue's better than Creighton. I think Tennessee is high at number 2. I think you're going to wind up with, it's going to be interesting to see who Texas winds up with. It's going to be interesting to see how, Purdue's got a decently easy route.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Kim Coulter says Houston. Dakota says Houston. Okay. Mike Smith, hoping West Virginia gets a decent basketball coach this offseason. Huggy Bear really screwed things up with his drunk ass.
Sorry, did you say Huggy Bear?
Bob Huggins. How do you not? He's never heard of Dallas,
right.
Texas.
I know who Bob Huggins is.
Heard of
I've
Dallas,
never heard
Texas.
of someone say Huggy Bear.
He's God.
Like
he doesn't know what he does. Forgive him. He knows not what he says.
Okay.
He knows he's been called Huggy Bear for about 50 years.
Well, I haven't been around for 50 years, so.
That's right. Nothing happened before 93.
See, you're catching on.
My bad. Did you guys see that Huggy said he wants to coach again?
I'm sure he does.
He's ready to coach. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. All right. Who's first in today, by the way? Mike Smith. Good morning, Mountain Mama. Harry Austin. Hello. Chad Carter. Hello. Dakota. Matt Ritson. Morning, Jake. Monty. Great show. Well, thanks.
Excited.
Lil Jizzy. Good morning from Jizzy. Okay. Be on brand. OG Gary. Well, it's madness time. Let's see who wins. Bailey Dietrich. Not Purdue. Purdue. I hate Purdue. I hate everything about Purdue. Drew Brees is just not very good at football.
Yeah.
What happened? Glenn Robinson Jr. is not on the team anymore?
No.
I hate Purdue. Nothing good ever came out of West Lafayette. Nothing. Some engineers, but who needs an engineer? You know what I mean? Dakota Tubbs, I like Houston, but just like last year, their depth worries me. Dear God, Ant-Man. What? I think the Anthony Edwards dunk is one of the most overrated dunks I've seen this year. And SportsCenter won't shut the about it. Oh my God, Anthony Edwards dislocated his finger on John Collins' taint. Did you guys see this dunk? Oh, you missed the dunk. Let's play it again. And in case you just saw it once, let's play it again so you can see it 12 times. Right here on SportsCenter. Brought to you by Anthony Edwards' dunk. Poor John Collins' taint. Again and again.
Dude, come on, man.
And again.
It's a really good dunk,
and
man.
again.
It is a really
and
good
again.
dunk.
And again.
There's no reason to hate.
Oh, look, they just showed it again. Oh, wait, I'm sure. Oh, you missed it? Turn on SportsCenter. It's the only thing they're showing. Dunk. It's a good dunk. John Collins wasn't even facing him when he took off. It's not like, oh my God, the greatest dunk of all time. Anthony Edwards, did you see he hit his head on the scoreboard? He jumped so high. My God. Just shut the, it's newsflash. Dudes in the NBA can jump. Who knew?
What?
I'm so bricked up right now.
Shut up. I'm tired of this.
But when watching it live, it was awesome.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
It was awesome.
Dude, I pulled my pants down.
Yeah, dude.
Stay hard.
Yep.
Too much.
Cock.
Kim Coulter. Morning, guys from Dorado Beach, Puerto Rico.
Dorado Beach.
Ho-ho! Playing Cocoa Beach golf course this morning and El Conquistador tomorrow.
Oh, El Conquistador, huh?
Eat your hearts out. Wreck them. Have fun. Hit them straight, dude. Hit them straight. We're going to talk about, we played 2 premium courses in Scottsdale. And we got to talk about that. Stephen Smith, I believe that the committee wants some of the Big 12 teams to fail to show they don't belong.
Okay, so conspiracy theory time?
Yeah, why would the committee want the Big 12 basketball teams to fail?
Infowars.com.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we get. This was one of the best selection Sundays we've ever had because it was pure chaos, which is exactly what the NCAA tournament is supposed to be.
What it should be.
Everybody should not get in. You have to earn your way in.
Oh, but Monty, we're our resume and our RPI and everything, says we should be there.
Look at Ken Palm. Yeah, fuck Ken Palm. Get a life, Ken. Get a life.
Damn, bro.
Probably too much. Rick Forrester, Houston all the way.
Houston.
Jimmy Otson, like number 16. Yeah, let's go. We've had 500 people view the show, and we only have 33 likes. Let's go, you guys, if you're here. Huh?
We doing it today?
We're not doing anything today.
Okay.
Jerk.
Why don't you fuck off?
Yeah, exactly. Sir.
Okay.
Jake showed up this morning and chose violence.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's see. Dakota Tubbs. Well, Jake is showing his true colors every single day. Carl Adams, his usual positive self. Baseball is a dying sport.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Hope that rain cloud over your house doesn't flood. Harry Austin, man, you have to question whoever raised Jake. How can you not be excited for March Madness?
Okay, dude.
I don't work at Home Depot.
Let's not spin this, okay? We're not spin cycling.
Jake hates the NCAA tournament.
I don't hate the NCAA
Jake
tournament.
hates puppies.
I don't hate puppies.
Jake hates women.
That's right.
I don't hate women.
Jake hates old people.
Okay, that's true. I
and how they
want
smell.
the Elite Eight to get here. Once the Elite Eight gets here, we're in a good place.
Jake hates dessert.
What else is good?
Jake hates pretty flowers. Jake hates women in bikinis. Jake loves a rom-com. Jake's favorite movie is The Notebook.
Oh, it's not. No, it's not.
Jake hates free things.
Here I am.
Arizona or Houston are my guesses, but it's a tournament, so I'm going to be wrong. We're all going to be wrong.
Yeah.
Jake hates chaos in the NCAA tournament. Jake hates sports.
I just hate monotonous
Everything.
college basketball, bro.
Everything. All right, here we are in Greensboro on a Tuesday night in December. It is Waxahachie State taking on Arlington, Texas, which Jake Monomeyer's never heard of. Check him out on the Monty program. Okay, Mike Smith. Could never get into baseball. Always seems so boring to me.
And
that's what Jake
fine.
says about the NCAA
That's
tournament.
fine.
Boring as hell.
That's fine.
Can't get into it.
Yeah.
Not feeling it today.
Yeah.
Not
Feeling
feeling it.
something else.
Dakota Tubbs. Yes, Auburn is a hidden gem. Eric Wasikowski. When basketball is on, watching hockey, March Madness is overrated. When basketball is on, I'm watching hockey. Okay. I mean, listen, it's probably you roll up the garage door before you start the car.
Right.
You know. When basketball is on, I'm still watching hockey. March Madness is overrated. Okay. Saw, dude. Hey, dude. Saw, dude. Says, Wazoo, got my bracket as a pizza for years of free pizza. Okay. Connor Tulin. Good morning, Connor. Good to see you. Monty, I got bucked up last night. Let's go. Let's go. I had my buckshot yesterday. So got off the plane yesterday at 8, worked all day, like all that stuff. 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon, popped that buckshot, powered me through. Life is good.
Boom.
Life is good, man. Telling you, Connor, hook it up with the bucked up. You guys, the other thing I'll say is if you are not taking creatine every single day, and I don't care if you're 15 or 37 or 57, Jake hates creatine too, by the way. If you're not taking creatine every day, you're not doing life right. I'm telling you right now. Rick Forrester, Iowa State versus Houston in the finals. Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot. Caleb Allamore. What's up, Caleb? I got a Houston and Iowa State rematch. Houston winning that title. Iowa State's very good. I'm telling you, Iowa State is very, very good.
Yeah.
And what are you doing a bracket? Jake's doing a bracket. Holy cow, Jake's doing a bracket.
Dude, I'm looking at Gary's bracket.
Oh, I thought you were doing a bracket, but you're not.
He's taking St. Mary's over Grand Canyon.
Now listen, Gary doesn't know anything about sports.
Dude, I'm looking at this.
Nothing.
You've got, excuse me, you've got UNC losing to St. Mary's.
That wouldn't surprise me. I'm a North Carolina fan. And
damn.
Yeah. Wasikowski, Jake is uncultured. Says the fucking guy who's like, oh, if hockey's on. I'm watching hockey over basketball. NCAA tournament sucks. 4 more years. 4 more years. Let's go. Trump's a billionaire, but he can't pay his bond. All right, here we are. Eric and Raleigh, hello. Steve Sapanic, hello. Jimmy Otson, or turn off Sports Center.
Well,
thank you.
See, there's no golf on.
Oh, look, the Anthony Edwards dunk is on again. Who knew?
Look at me.
Oh, look, Mel Kiper commenting on, no, he's not the NFL draft. He's commenting on Anthony Edwards' dunk.
Apologize to that man.
Fucking assholes. Like, oh, no, Anthony Edwards.
Dude, are you a Jazz fan?
Oh, my God.
Dude.
Did he dislocate a finger dunking on John Collins' titty? I think he did. Caught it on the areola. Could happen to anybody. Did happen to Anthony Edwards. Let's show you again right here on Sports Center.
It is what it is.
Like, stop.
Are you at all surprised?
No. No, I'm not.
It's a great dunk.
I mean, it's not like there's anything NFL draft to talk about. Yes, let's have Mel Kiper comment on Anthony Edwards' dunk again. Like, why do we? It's the draft, Mel. Tell me how good Caleb Williams is going to be for the Bears, so I know how much tissue I need next season. When you draft Caleb Williams and he's a fucking bust because he went to USC. Don't show me Anthony Edwards' dunk again, you fucking pricks.
Because it's garbage.
You know.
What are you going to do if the Bears draft Drake May, dude?
Just play the Jordan crying. Play the Jordan crying meme. Oh, because at this point, I need it to be Caleb Williams. I need Caleb Williams on that wall.
You on that wall.
It parties in places you don't talk about.
So stand post.
Either get in the shotgun or stand a post. Either way.
I don't give a damn what color your nails are.
I don't give a damn what Mel Kiper thinks about Anthony Edwards' dunk.
Wow. That's an all-timer right there.
All right, I feel better.
Okay. All right.
Monty woke up this morning and chose crazy. I did. It's just annoying to me. It's a good dunk. I get it. Like, dislocate his finger on John Collins' forehead, bro. All-timer. Okay, cool. John Collins wasn't even looking at the guy. And I get it. You put your dick on his face. That's cool.
His cock.
Right. Anyway.
Macaque.
Oh my God. OG Gary. Hey, did y'all see that Anthony Edwards? Steve Stepanek. I wonder what Shaq thinks about that dunk. We're gonna find out. I would with your wife. Let's see. Bailey Dietrich. If the Bears draft Drake May, it's Mitch Trubisky 2.0.
Yeah.
Force Ghost Fop. Now it's turned into the Bears are terrible. Hey, Monty, good luck.
Suck, man.
Do you guys understand my life? You understand? I'm a Cubs fan.
They did win both games we went to.
We went to, they did win both games. Cody Bellinger yacked. I love it. My guy, Seiya Suzuki, home run.
Multiple.
You know. I'm a Cubs fan. That's the highlight of the season, spring training. I am a Notre Dame fan. Apparently, and I didn't know this, and I understand
Notre Dame, our mother.
Everybody's cutting back in college sports because of the money. Apparently, Notre Dame cut their basketball program. I was unaware of that.
A lot.
Yeah. I'm a Notre Dame fan. Okay, cool. I have nothing to root for. Nothing. I'm a Chicago Bears fan. Point taken. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. Again, the Blackhawks, nope, not them either. Connor Bedard's cousin, who has 85 points in 30 games in the WHL. He'll probably end up in Minnesota with the Wild, who I hate.
Right.
I don't, what is good in my life? I am a Phoenix Suns fan. They don't beat anybody.
What about the Chicago Fire?
I'm not sure. Like, Chicago is on fire, and it was a good fire.
Yeah.
Like, it burned the whole fucking town down. Like,
You know.
it was amazing. But at the end of the day, the town was burned. Oh, you mean the soccer team? I thought you meant the Great Chicago Fire, where the water tower was the only. My bad.
Right.
Do you understand where this is my life now? This is my life now. Aaron Rodgers is going to be president. This is my life now.
Oh, the Chicago sky. The sky. There you go.
I mean, it's a beautiful skyline. I agree.
Yeah. You know. Yeah.
Rick Forster, Rudy Gobert is the worst contract in the NBA. Oh, Rudy Rudiger? Rudy Law. One of my favorite baseball players as a kid.
Okay.
You know the funny thing about Rudy from Notre Dame? It was all a lie. Nobody turned their jersey in, dude. That was a Disney movie. Anyway, Rick Forster, the Bears suck. I hadn't heard that. I mean, Baylor basketball, you mean the Baylor Bears. They're very good in basketball. I agree they suck at football.
Right.
OG Gary, I think Oak State James saw the Anthony Edwards dunk from his helicopter. I think he did. John DeLon. Monty, you have no faith in Marcus Freeman. He can't count past 10. No, I have zero faith. Rudy from the Cosby Show.
Right.
Nope. Not doing Bill Cosby today. I mean, he's probably wants to do me.
Macaque.
All right. I don't know. Don't forget the daily fantasy partner of the Monty Show is Prize Picks. Won again last night on Prize Picks. Telling you guys, 3 of my last 4.
Okay. Do you already have action on the first 4 today?
I don't, because I'm not stupid.
Wow.
I don't. What did you took action on the first?
No, I was going to, though.
Okay. What are you looking at on the first? This is a mistake.
So let's see.
Can we do Call of Duty instead of the first 4?
Yeah.
Do you know how difficult you guys it is to bet the first 4? It is one of the, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain that the first 4 is one of the most profitable parts of the NCAA tournament for Vegas, for the boys in Vegas. And this is what I love about Prize Picks. I don't have to bet the game or the totals. I just got to bet players and combos.
Bryce Harris from Howard.
Ooh,
point
Caitlin
guard.
Caitlin Clark is 0.5 points.
But isn't that for Friday?
That's for Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably not.
You
That's awesome. 98% off right now. In the NBA, I am shocked. I am again over $300 in my Prize Picks account.
Yeah.
Do you guys understand? I was down to, I think, $7 less than a week ago. I was at $7 in my Prize Picks account.
Hey.
That's how dry things had gotten, right? Like I needed lube badly.
You needed lube.
And I got it. It was awesome, dudes. Like I've been on a run. Anthony Davis, I cannot tell you if you're on download the Prize Picks app, use a promo code Monty.
Hey, Monty.
To get 100% deposit matching. Let's play the NCAA tournament together. Prize Picks for the NCAA tournament is one of the best. So let's look at first four in. Who do you
Okay, so I got excuse me. Bryce Harris from Howard, guard, more than 15.5 points. He's hit that in every game in the last 5. And then I've got Neat Clifford from Colorado State on a demon versus UVA for more than 3.5 assists.
Boy, that's tough. I think, boy, these are some tough ones because Tyson Walker. Oh, why are you doing this to me, Price? I'm not. No, I'm going to stay on today because if I don't stay on today,
yeah, then you're asking for trouble.
You're going to wind up getting yourself in trouble. Isaiah Stevens, Colorado State, 1.5 3-pointers made. That's almost a gimme. That is almost a gimme. That or Marcus Dockery for 3-pointers made, 2.5 3-pointers made for Howard. I could go with that one.
That's probably a good one. Yeah.
And the other one today that I think is really good, and I don't know how many people have looked at NBA first half today. Kyle Kuzma, 12 points in the first half. He's playing Houston. I think that's a lock. I love that one.
I took first team all fat ass Zion Williamson. And by the way, Zion Williamson
he's not fat
has
anymore.
Cut down.
Did you guys see Zion? Did you see what he said about losing weight?
Bro.
And I never thought I would say this. Zion Williamson, I think, has turned a corner. He claims that seeing himself in the midseason tournament and getting embarrassed by the Lakers, he said it was humiliating for him to watch himself in the midseason tournament and not be able to perform. And he has dramatically lost weight.
Yeah, they're saying it's 30 pounds that he's cut, and he looks like it.
He looks like it.
So I took him tonight. He's averaged 30 points or more in his last 5 games. He's been more than that in his last 5 games. So I took him on Prize Picks for more than 32.5 points and rebounds. So
download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty. You make a deposit up to $100. They're going to give you that exact deposit in matching funds. So you deposit 10, you get 20. Deposit 50, you get 100. Dude, $100 on Prize Picks will take you months.
Yes.
It is so easy. I love it. You can play $5. You can play. It's so much fun. And if you're somebody that enjoys playing daily fantasy, do you know what daily fantasy is? You're taking players, not teams. So you can, like, one of the things I've done really well on, first inning runs in spring training. Because they're telling you one run between these two teams in the first inning. Will Dodgers and Mets score one run in the first inning combined? Less or more? Dude, I'm killing that in spring training. The NCAA tournament, I don't know that there's anything more enjoyable than daily fantasy in the NCAA tournament. Because the hard part about the tournament, when you bet a bracket, your bracket goes to hell in the first round, right?
Yes.
Then you're done, you lose interest. Not in daily fantasy. You're playing different players every single day. And I love it. I am a huge fan of daily fantasy. The best is Prize Picks. Download the app, use a promo code Monty, M-O-N-T-Y, Monty, to get 100% deposit. Matching